look at this little guy. This is R.D.G. Today is another Buzzworthy Bumblebee review of the Studio Series 7, the B-127. Of course, this is before Bumblebee gained his name. He was originally B-127. Of course, now it's become canon with Transformers 1. So, let's see. B-127. Here we have him with Mirage, RC, and Optimus. And surprisingly, there was a theory with the guy. Some say that it predicted the Rise of the Beast characters. All it was missing was Wheeljack. So here's B-127 in Cybertronian mode. This is from the beginning, when Cybertron fell, so that's the fault of that. And the backdrop, of course, with every Studio Series, always comes with a backdrop, and this backdrop looks amazing. And therefore, it recreates the scene from Cybertron. More like before the fall. So let's see with B-127. And you'll never escape, B-127. You'll never escape.
6 hours later.
And here we have B-127. Obviously, B-127 is basically the Cybertronian Bumblebee before Bumblebee got his name. He was here at the opening scenes of the War for Cybertron. And I gotta say though, the voice actor who voiced Bumblebee was, I gotta see, this is gonna go good. And obviously, since Bumblebee is a short bot, of course, what do you expect? He is short. Since he is also a Deluxe figure. The only accessory you can get with B-127 is his arm blaster, right here. It's well painted and sculpted. And of course, you cannot do it. Of course, you cannot attach it to Bumblebee's left hand, but rather his right. Of course, obviously for reasons. So if you could plug this in, boom, you plug that in, and then you got B-127 armed and ready. I know in the Bumblebee movie, he has a wrist blade, and I don't even know if you can attach a wrist blade onto B-127. So, let's start with B-127. The painting and the sculpting on B-127, or at least Bumblebee at the moment, looks great. Of course, the only eyesore moment is his back and some of his legs, but it's overall good in the rest. And yes, I'm surprised this is supposed to be B-127. So, let's just say, oh yeah, I also know that there's another Studio Series with Cliff Jumper, which is basically a repaint and retool of B-127. So, since this is in fact a Buzzworthy version of B-127, not the Studio Series one. So, I guess there's a big difference into that, I guess, but all I know is that, well, all I know is that this B-127 looks great. The only difference is the back, and ugh, it just makes his part look fat. I mean, if you try to remove at least this part right here, try to flesh this out, it actually looks better. And of course, you get to see B-127 Cybertronian wheels right here. And speaking of B-127, I keep saying a lot, since he is, soon to be Bumblebee. Well, there is also the Transformers 1 B-127, so I'll see if I can make a comparison once I get him. But in the meantime, we'll just have to focus on the Nightverse B-127, aka Bumblebee. So, of course, you can see that his chest plates actually look real nice, but let's get a closer look into his head. Not like into his head, but you get to see there's an Autobot symbol right here. Of course, it needs a bit of paint on, or at least a metallic gray paint jobs on his face. And of course, I don't think it's accessible for battle mask, since obviously it's well sculpted in, and of course it may affect the transformation. So I'll talk about the transformation soon, but in the meantime, his feet, no, not his feet entirely, but his legs feel loose. Not like flimsy, at least ball jointed loose, but of course, oh wait, now that I mention it, it's a bit limited now with the with all this stuff. Or at least put it like, wait, hold on, maybe I did it wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, maybe I did do it wrong. Because now you can get it better. Look at B-127. But I'm actually talking about this piece right here, since it feels a little loose it's hard for me to even know. So, let's see, the backpack's just too large. Everything else looks great. No idea why they just need this blade, but I get it. It's a backlash version of the opening of the Bumblebee movie. So this is all we can get from the Cybertronian Bumblebee. So let's just cut all this and get to the posability. And of course, let's go back to the battle mask reason. Is because B-127's head can go full 360. Not to mention it can go, well, not like that, but up. But he can't go down, or at least as far as it can go. And yeah, this part looks kind of cursed, so I wouldn't recommend something like this, but only if you wish to at least have have him look up like this, but instead of like, oof, like that. Yeah, that looks horrifying as fuck. And of course, the worst part is that these big wheels prevents him from doing a full 360, except you have to extend the arm. He has a hinge joint on both sides. And yeah, that part, the first one looks horrifying, but this one looks great, okay? He has a waist swivel here, and it's a good ass swivel. Leg can go kick that far, go back that far. Yeah, that far. A very good spread, if we do. But if we can go back on the feed, you actually got some good gray painting on here. But surprisingly, he also has a bit of, ankle guards, which reveals a bit more sculpting and painting onto his B-127's feet, which you can make him go kick that far, go that far, or at least basically since his foot is on a ball joint as well, which means he can also pivot like this. So yeah, that's pretty much it for, well, at least for B-127's, oh man, for posability for him. Posability for B-127, but the sculpting could use a bit of an update, especially with the backpack. Now, of course, Bumblebee actually came to Earth in that vehicle mode before he came to another one, in which it was a Jeep, not a Cybertronian car. And of course, since B-127 is a deluxe figure, you would expect him to be short. So, let's bring on size comparison. So, to start it off, here we have the Clunker Bumblebee. And of course, this is the Bumblebee from the 2-pack of then and 24 and 25 of Studio Series. The only difference you can tell by this Clunker Bee is the rustic effects. Of course, you can see a bit of a rustic paint right here, especially on the wings. And of course, since this is basically what Bumblebee became, so if we could just compare these two for a moment, we can see that both their heads are smaller, or at least they're both the same size. But at least I got rid of B-127's backpack-ish, I guess. I don't know much. I don't know. It makes this Bumblebee look smaller compared to B-127. And the duo main antagonists of the movie, Shatter and Dropkick. And yeah, now I'll talk about that later. And finally, we have the dumb bastard who took Bumblebee's voice in the Nightverse, Blitzwing. And yeah, I had to call him that, so size comparison may be done, but we will begin with the transformation of B-127's vehicle mode.
Later that same evening.
And here we have B-127 in his vehicle mode. Now, of course, the instructions. Yeah, that's what it says, B-127. Oh, that's how you attach his Okay, that's okay, that was kind of strange on where to put B-127s. Boy. Anyways, here's B-127 in his sleek yellow Cybertronian vehicle. And I gotta say, man, this looks amazing. The only downside is that you can see a bit of yellow, sun yellow and mustard yellow plastered all over it. Like, it's just different shades of yellow that it's a bit of a buzzkill, buzzworthy. And
Several bad puns later.
he's actually quite great. Because I gotta say though, because down here the Kipling, it's not much, but hey, at least it's better than nothing. Because hey, who needs Kipling under the damn vehicle mode? Who does? No one does. Anyways, I kind of like how sleek, how maneuverability. I mean, like, how come Michael Bay never thought of something like this? If Michael Bay gets a chance to make another Transformers movie, make it a prequel before the original movie, to show us Cybertronian vehicle modes. And this looks amazing. The back, however, it looks like plain. Yeah, it just looks flat at the moment. Of course, it's going to need some effects, like, like a bit of paint chipping, weathering, the whole damn package. Oh yeah. The instructions even told me how to put B-127's arm cannon into this vehicle mode. So all it takes is crap. Okay, here we are. Here's the arm cannon, and it kind of fills in a bit of the gap right here. But it may not be much, but hey, you get what you get. And I'm sorry, I just can't get enough of this. This vehicle mode, it's slick, it's small, but otherwise a little compact, but otherwise amazing as a scout. I guess that's why Bumblebee, aka B-127, is the Autobot Scout. Because man, this looks damned amazing. This looks amazing. Of course, you can roll him a bit, but the only problem is I transformed him incompletely, so he's not gonna roll for a while. So, aside from this, let's just say this is an amazing introduction to B-127's vehicle mode. So, we're just gonna wrap this up with another size comparison here to finalize this video for now. So here he is with the Clunker Bumblebee, and wait, what the fuck? This, I don't know, somehow this feels a little downgraded compared to this, because, I mean, okay, this isn't usually for me to at least stop at midway for size comparison, but holy hell, this looks garbage, while this looks amazing. How does any of that make sense? But if you've seen the Transformers 1 movie, yeah, it turns out that B-127's vehicle mode looks identical. It's like they just steal this vehicle mode just to create that. So, let's just continue on. And we got the Decepticon, the pain, the dash. Yeah, it's a bit of a bitch, so fuck it, whatever. That's the end of the size comparison, so that is, that's kind of it for the video. So, yeah, that's quite amazing. We're getting through all this a lot. So I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe, comment down below, and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok so you don't miss out any updates or any new goofs I can come up with in this point. But still, come on. We're like this close to 1,000 subscribers. So please smash that like button so we can get to 1,000 subscribers. So that is it for me. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next Moo review. And possibly we get a toy hunt, but that will be for a while. So it will be for the summer. So this is R.D.G. This is my final message to this video. So I am signing out.